Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, September 21st, 5:46 a.m. Central Time as I speak here. December corn futures up 2 3/4 at 694 3/4. November soybeans up 3 at 1481 3/4. December Chicago wheat up 12 at 905 3/4. December Kansas City wheat up 9 3/4 at 972 3/4. December spring wheat up 12 1/4 at 971 1/2. If you guys are listening on the podcast, appreciate it as always. Leave me a review, leave me a rating on that Apple Podcast app. That would be very much appreciated. If you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave me a comment. All of those things will help YouTube to help me to grow this channel. If you'd like some additional information from me, guys, go to my website, www.standardgrain.com. Check out my premium subscription service today. I send my premium subscribers a ton of information direct from me every single business day. Morning email goes out about 5:30 a.m. Central Time. In that email, every morning you'll see every overnight headline you need to be aware of. Charts, graphics, weather maps. My daily subscriber-only videos are part of this deal. Yesterday, my friend Shay Folk joined me. He's a young farmer in Illinois, and he also works at AgView Solutions with my friend Chris Barron. He helps farmers to run budgets and that sort of thing. And we talked about marketing and budgeting from the perspective of a young farmer. And Shay's a really sharp guy. He works with farmers all over the country when it comes to budgeting and marketing. If you're a younger farmer, you want to know how one of the more probably progressive and more educated younger farmers is thinking when it comes to marketing, risk management, budgeting. This is a great video. I got a lot of positive feedback from this. Check this deal out, guys. $50 a month. Cancel it anytime. No other fee, no other obligation. Nobody will try to sell you anything else, I promise. Russian-controlled regions of the eastern and southern parts of Ukraine will vote to become part of Russia. So Russia is essentially trying to annex 4 regions in the east and south part of the country. Voting will begin on Friday. Russian officials say that the votes would allow frontiers to be redrawn. The votes would be irreversible, according to Russia, and Russia would use any means necessary to defend these areas. Now, the vote is basically a guarantee to go in Russia's favor. Russia has installed, at least in their view, new leadership in these regions, and those are the votes. So the West has totally dismissed this plan. Ukraine's foreign minister said the referendums will change nothing. It's an act of desperation for Russia, but it is not going to help them. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said that the United States would never recognize this territory as anything other than part of Ukraine. He added that the Kremlin effort reflects Russia's setbacks on the battlefield. So, of course, a lot of criticism here, but this does indicate an escalation in the Black Sea situation. What does that mean for our markets? Does it mean that Putin cancels the grain shipping deal out of Ukraine? Yeah, that's a possibility. There's a lot of implications when it comes to production and exports out of that region. We can't quantify it, but we just know that it's potentially friendly. So I think large speculators, the funds, whoever, they're not shy about coming in and buying corn, buying wheat on these sort of headlines. Now, there was some additional Russia headlines overnight. Putin is going to mobilize more troops. Russia's president ordered a partial military mobilization of 300,000 reservists. They will be called to duty. This is considered by some, again, to be a major escalation in the war. This mobilization is the first of its kind for Russia since World War II. So this is precedented, but you got to go back a while. Putin warned the West in a televised address this morning that he is not bluffing in regard to using all means at his disposal to defend Russia's territory. He's likely referring to nuclear capability. Putin said this: "Nuclear blackmail has also been used. To those who allow themselves such statements regarding Russia, I want to remind you that our country also has various means of destruction, and in some components more modern than those of NATO countries." So some people say, the skeptics here, they'll say that Russia's call up of reservists is an admission that their invasion attempt is failing. And maybe that's true, but the fact that Putin is very openly talking about nuclear capabilities is absolutely terrifying and adds an additional risk element to the entire world, every market on the planet. I mean, that sort of stuff. So this is scary stuff. I don't know where it's going to go. This is the headline here this last couple of days, and this is why, in my view at least, that the markets have rallied here yesterday and into this morning. Ukraine's 2023 wheat harvest will likely decline sharply versus pre-invasion levels. So Ukraine's ag ministry actually put a number on it here overnight. They think that the 2023 wheat harvest will fall in the 16 to 18 million metric ton range. Ukraine harvested 19 million metric tons of wheat this past season, but you got to remember that was wheat that was planted pre-invasion but harvested post-invasion. Now, the last crop that they harvested pre-invasion was 2021. It was 33 million metric tons. So to put this simply, if you're to assume that they harvest a 17 million metric ton crop this year, Russia's invasion has essentially resulted in a near 50% decline in Ukrainian wheat production. So this is not shocking or necessarily the biggest breaking news in the world, but they're putting a number on it, and it's going to be even lighter in all likelihood than this year's crop. Got some rains on the radar here across the United States this morning. South Dakota, a little bit of rain here and there. Maybe this far western part of Nebraska. A little bit of Illinois, this like west central part. A little bit of Ohio has some rain. Over the next 7 days, you're going to see some scattered rains in a lot of places. The heaviest amounts, perhaps, if this forecast is correct, will be in northern Kansas, maybe southwest Nebraska, places like that. Your 6 to 10 day outlook kind of split when it comes to temperatures, maybe below normal in the eastern Corn Belt, central Corn Belt, and then out west, maybe above normal temperatures. Still pretty dry during that 6 to 10 day period, or below normal precipitation at least being called for in that period from September 26th through the 30th. The Fed will likely announce a three-quarter point rate hike today. The Fed began its two-day monthly meeting yesterday. They will make an interest rate announcement today at 1 p.m. Central Time. One economist said this is really moving into restrictive monetary policy territory. We will be moving into no man's land. We actually haven't tightened policy to fight inflation since the early 1980s. Their goal is for a prolonged slowdown that grinds inflation slowly down and only gradually increases the unemployment rate. Whether they get there or not is another issue. When it comes to the markets, so first off, I mean, 3/4 of a point is what we're looking for today. Anything other than that would be a surprise and would result in some volatility in a lot of markets. Perhaps the more important thing, assuming that you get 3/4, is the forecast regarding future Fed activity. That may be the thing that people watch closely if, in fact, we do get that 3/4 point. Some people think they're going to go a full point. I have no idea. They probably go 3/4. That's what most economists think. But be prepared for some volatility in some of these markets here about 1 p.m. Central Time today. The cattle market was mixed in live cattle yesterday and sharply lower in feeders. The feeder cattle market did not like the big rally in the corn market. We had some cash trade again in the Western Corn Belt, just very light at 145 yesterday. In the outside markets, the U.S. dollar is higher this morning. The S&P is up 12 points. The Dow Jones up 100. Bonds are up a little bit. Gold's up $14. Crude oil up $2.40 at 85.69 last trade. I think probably responding to these increased Black Sea tensions. Everybody have a great day today. I will talk to you Thursday.